Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Solana, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And now if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check that out today? And if you are looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, well, why not check out the Cheeky podcast? It's a fantastic way to stay up to date with everything crypto whilst you're on your commute to the office. So why not check that out as well in the description below? Okay, let's waste no more time though. Let's jump into this, right? So Solana paired up with USDT. This is the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. Now there are some really bearish outlooks here for Ethereum, and I want to kind of show you what they are. Sorry for Ethereum, but for Solana, and I want to show you what they are, but I also want to show you what would create an invalidation for these and what would prevent them from happening going forward, right? I think it's important that we're aware that there are some more moves to the downside, some really bearish scenarios, but also what would it take to actually prevent them from happening. Okay, so to start with, what we're going to do is, I think maybe a 4-hour chart is probably the best one to take a look at. Yeah, there you go. So here you can see we have a 5-wave move down, we have a 3-wave move up, and then we have a 5-wave move down. Now, essentially, that in itself is a 5-3-5, okay, which is basically called a zigzag pattern, okay? A zigzag pattern is an ABC. It's just a correction, and there isn't too much more to it. And you could argue that maybe we're done. Maybe this is the bottom. However, what we want to avoid is actually another 3-5 structure getting added to the end here. Okay, so if we were to add that 3-5, this whole entire thing becomes an impulsive structure. Okay, and what you end up with here is basically a 5-wave structure like this, but on a more bigger macro pattern, right? Because you'd have 5 waves here, you have 3 waves just here, you have 5 waves here. We currently have 3 waves over here. And what we want to do is avoid having 5 waves down over here, right? So it's important that we acknowledge that it's a possible scenario. And what we need to do to invalidate it is move the price higher than $75.35, the low point just here. Okay, now what's interesting about this is that we haven't hit what I would like to think of as an impulsive trigger point, which would be the 1.618 level of wave 1, right? So we measure the distance of our wave 1, or our A wave in this case. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so we measure this entire structure here, this 5-wave move, from the top to the bottom. Okay, and when we do that and we measure that top to the bottom, we have a fib chart to do this, right? We have this Fibonacci tool just here. Okay, so I've taken that measurement and I've measured the entire thing. I've then moved it up to the top of this 3-wave bounce, okay? And this then allows us to measure our next wave down, okay? And our next wave down came down to the 382, $25.92, okay, right on here. So with that, coming down and bouncing from this level, this is our 5th wave low, it was a little bit shorter than our 1.618, which would have been $19.35. And because of this, we have to acknowledge a couple of things, right? I prefer to think of an impulsive structure as always being 1.618. However, there are some literatures out there that say that you have a small percentage chance if you hit a 1.618, you have another small percentage chance if you hit 1.382, and you have a high percentage chance when you hit 1.618. So what it's basically telling us is that we could still see a 5-wave drop even by hitting 1.382. And I'm open to the idea of this, but it's not as neat as just saying you hit 1.618, you drop down. So we should be aware that there's a chance that we have some room to the downside, right? And in order to prevent that room to the downside and those new lower lows, we have to move up higher than $75.35, this low point just over here. Okay, so if we don't do that, then we are going to drop down, and we're going to drop down in a reasonably significant way. So let's actually now analyze this structure here. What's actually going on? Are we reversing up? Have we hit a bottom? And are we getting a new structure that's actually more beneficial to an upward directional move? And for the most part, we could argue, yes, we've got something interesting going on, but it could be read in multiple different ways as well. Okay, so straight off, we have an A, a B, and a potential C. okay? And the C is overextended, okay? And that's okay. We can have an overextended C wave. But we have only got a 3-wave structure inside the A wave. So we have a 3-wave structure in ABC just here, right? And normally, if we were looking for an impulsive structure out of here and a good structured move out upwards and to prevent the lows coming down lower than we were previously, then essentially what we would need to do is we would need to basically come in here with a 5-wave structure, okay, which is something that could be happening here, okay, and I just can't see it on the micro scale here, the 5 sub-wave count move, okay, but we could acknowledge that we've just come up and we just got rejected from a 1.382. It seems that Solana loves a 1.382, it appears. So right here, if I grab another line, right on this line here, you can see that we come up to this area, $42.92, with a 1.382 being $42.95 approximately. Bearing in mind, I literally just placed this on top. If I actually go ahead and try to make this a little bit more accurate, and then bring this back down, it becomes 42.89. So essentially, we've just hit that area of the 1.382, and we're getting rejected from it. Okay, now this could mean a couple of things. Either we completely get rejected and we completely collapse from here, and we are done with our structure move upwards, which is a slightly overextended C wave, or alternatively, this is a small correction before a little bit of a surge upwards, where we can actually take out that 1.618, and in which case, if that is the move, I would look at this entire thing as a wave 3. So I would look at it as a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, then wave 5 to come after that. I don't think we have the momentum in price action to do that, okay? But it would get us towards our 75.35, okay? And of course, you'd look out for zigzag patterns and things like that as well. But I think actually what's going on here is it's just a simple ABC structure, and it's possible that basically we're going to get rejected from here. So let's bring the stochastic RSI into play. The 4-hour chart is, of course, oversold, and we're looking to ring that up. The hourly chart is, of course, overbought, so we're looking for descend. We're bringing down the 8-hour nicely, and we got an overbought daily. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that are going on that make this a little bit more difficult to ascertain, right? So we've got a 4-hour stochastic and an 8-hour stochastic RSI that could basically indicate that this is just a mini correction, and we still have a little bit more room to the upside to be had before we actually pull back in any significant way. The daily chart is a concern because it is overbought, and that is a macro level chart that could bring us down quite significantly. But at this point in time, you know, we want to acknowledge a couple of variables. We've got to somehow push up higher than 75.35, and if we don't, then we are likely to pull back down. But how low are we likely to go if we have already reached the top? Okay, so if I grab that low point, which was 25.86, up to our current high point, bearing in mind we still could push higher, but based on the data today, we could see Solana's price drop down to this little range just down here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll remove this fib now, I don't need it, and I'll also remove that one, I don't need that. So right here in this little area is the zone, right? And basically, let me actually bring that across here for a sec. It's basically $18.91, so I'll label that up, okay, $18.91 on the lower side, okay, that's the lowest side of the spectrum. And then on the higher side, we've got $22.95. Okay, so those are the areas that we're kind of really looking out for here. Okay, and that would mark our 5th wave low on this more macro scale, right? So if I now draw this up for you, you go wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, like that, and you kind of complete it. But you can see how that wave 3 just isn't really the regular length. It's not really what you would expect to see. You would expect it to come back down much lower. And it is, of course, possible, guys, that all of that move into this low range is also just a wave 3, and I may have marked this one up incorrectly, with that being a little wave 4 there, that being our wave 5, right? So we're going to have this more normal looking kind of structure. And then afterwards, we have another wave 4 bounce upwards, and then we collapse down, right? So there's many, many different ways of looking at it. Too soon to really know. But I do think for now, what we want to do is we want to focus in on this high point. We want to see if we can push the price higher than 75.35. Failure to do so will indicate that we are likely to have a fifth wave drop down lower, unless, of course, we've got the right structures here. So a 5-wave structure up, 3-wave structure down, 5-wave structure up, 3-wave structure down, 5-wave structure up. And we've already had the bottom then in that case. And we'd have a wave 1 potentially, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and we go up that way. Okay, so it's a bit too soon to really know 100% where that's going. But for now, we want to be really paying attention to what's going on those micro movements. How the momentum and the sentiment in the space is changing, adapting, and whether or not we are looking to drop down towards $18.91 and $22.95. And you've got to bear in mind, guys, that essentially Bitcoin does look like it wants to drop down lower. Ethereum does look like it wants to drop down lower. And my expectations here would be that Solana would follow suit. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.